Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. Jaded Blossom has a fun mini release featuring some add-on items that you can use with their Octagon Treat Boxes. So here are the 3 items that are available. There's 1 stamp set and 2 die sets. The stamp set is called Wild About You. It's all sentiments, and these are perfect for Valentine's Day or if you just like to use those punny sentiments. They have a new add-on for their Octagon dies. This is the Critter add-on, and this is so much fun. I love their Octagon Treat Boxes. So you will need to purchase the original Octagon Treat Box in order to have the dies to create the base of your box. So you'll need those 3 pieces, and there's also the extra so you could make a little jack-o'-lantern. The treat box is so easy to assemble, and I will be assembling one in this video to show you. So here's a look at the dies. You can see the actual size of them. And just so you know, the dies do not come on this magnetic sheet or storage sleeve. This is something that I've already put them on, but I will have a link in the description box if you are interested in checking out this die storage. It is the perfect size for these larger die sets. Now, Jaded Blossom already has several other add-ons for their Octagon Treat Boxes. So we have the Halloween, there's a Christmas set 1, and also a Christmas set 2. And I will be using at least 1 die from each of the sets for my cards and projects today. The final item from the release is a set of dies, and there are 3 different pairs of glasses. And what's so fun about the glasses is they were designed to fit perfectly on the Octagon Treat Boxes. So here's a fish that I made several months ago, and you can see how those glasses fit on it perfectly. Isn't that adorable? And I love how there are the 3 different styles of glasses, including the little hearts. And since the lenses do cut out separately, with the heart glasses, you'll also have those 2 small stitched hearts. So there are the 3 items that are part of the mini release, and I do have links provided in the description box if you are interested in any of those items. So let's go ahead and assemble one of the Octagon Treat Boxes. You'll need 2 of these base pieces, and I cut them both out of some pink cardstock. There's all of these little perforated lines. We'll just go ahead and fold those in. And on the piece on the left, I've already put some double-sided tape down on each of those tabs. So now I'll do the same thing for this piece on the right. You could use pattern paper or solid cardstock. I just suggest you use at least a heavier weight paper. You don't want it too thin since you want your box to be nice and sturdy. Once I have all the double-sided tape in place, we can start assembling. I like to start with this piece that has the 3 tabs. So remove the release paper, and you don't need to do that very last one, that tab on the top. I'm not sure why I did that one yet. Now I'm also adding a little bit of liquid adhesive. I just want to make sure that it'll stay together. And I find the double-sided tape isn't always enough, but it's a good adhesive to have because it'll hold everything in place quickly. Then also adding just that little bit of liquid adhesive, it'll just ensure the box stays put together. So now I'll do the same thing on this second piece. This time not removing the release paper on that top tab since I don't need it yet. So you see how you just fold up the sides and line them together. And now you can see how it's starting to create the shape of the octagon box. I'll do the same thing for the base piece. So this long flat piece is the bottom of the box. Do that on the second piece. So now I can remove the release paper from the rest of the tabs. Also put some more liquid adhesive. Then we'll be attaching those 2 sides together. Now I'll add some liquid adhesive to all of those tabs. I'm using Barely Art liquid glue, and it's a very strong adhesive, so I don't need a lot. Now I can put the 2 pieces together. So make sure to have the bottoms on the same side. You don't want to accidentally have one bottom on the top and close up your opening. And then I'm lining up the 3 sides on the left Then I'll flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. And I'm putting my hand on the inside to kind of press everything together. For the bottom, I'll add a little bit of liquid adhesive, and since my fingers aren't really long enough to reach inside, I'm using my glue to press all of that together. So there is the main base of the Octagon box. Super easy. And if you want to attach a handle, there's the 2 holes at the top of the box where you can use a brad. But for this box, I'm not going to use a handle. So now we'll start assembling one of the critters, and I decided to make a pink fox. I'm using some pink and white polka dot paper for the main portion of the fox. And for all of the other pieces, I'm using solid cardstock. So I have a dark pink for the inside of the ears. And you could pop up some of these pieces using foam dimension, but for this little fox, I decided to keep it all nice and flat. For the eyes, I'm using 2 different sizes of circles, and both of these are included in the critter add-on set. So I have white for the larger circle, using some teal for the blue color of the eye. For the nose, I am using some pink iridescent cardstock. I thought that would be really fun for its cute little nose. Once the nose is in place, I'll add the eyes. Trying to make sure to get them spaced evenly apart. And I'm also adding a little mouth, and this is not part of the critter add-on. I believe it's part of the Christmas add-on set number 2. It's the set that also has the deer. So I thought I would give my little fox a mouth. I'll put the fox head on the front of my box. And it does leave just a little bit of the pink box showing along the outside. And then just for fun, this little fox is going to wear a pair of pink heart glasses. So put liquid adhesive on the back and glue those glasses down. Now you could also make sunglasses. You could add some acetate so it has more of a realistic look of glasses. But for this little fox, I decided just to have them plain without any extra pieces. And there is my box all finished. You could add all kinds of goodies inside this little box. Put candies, a gift card, maybe a little lotion. I did make a second box. This one is a little owl, and I decided to give the owl this large mustache. Now this is Santa's mustache from the add-on Christmas set number 1. And here I'm showing where the little mouth is from the Christmas add-on set number 2. I did add the handle on my owl box and attached it using a couple of large brads. With all the different add-on die sets, the possibilities are endless for your little treat boxes. Now moving on to project number 2. I'm using some pattern paper for the little owl, and this is the same pattern paper I used for the treat box. But for this owl, we're going to be attaching it to an A2 size card. The pattern paper is by Paper Rose. It's their Watercolour Neutral collection. I love the spotted pattern paper and thought it would be perfect for the main body of the owl. Using some solid white cardstock for the eyes. I love how large these eyes are. And I have some orangish brown cardstock for the feet and also the owl's beak. We'll just assemble all of these using some liquid adhesive. The eyes, I use some dark brown cardstock, and I use the same color for the owl's tiny little wings. To attach the wings, I want to make sure they're underneath the back of the owl just a little bit. So I'm putting some double-sided tape on the back side. Remove the release paper, and then I'll attach the wings. Trying to make sure to get them evenly spaced. All that's left for the owl are the little feet, and I'll wait a moment before attaching those. For the background of the card, I'm using an older paper collection from Mintay. Thought this would be perfect for some pretty backgrounds. So for this card, I have this really lovely blue. I wanted to give the owl something to sit on, so I'll be adding this vine die cut from Jaded Blossom's Fall Banner die set. So it has the main die piece, and then you can also cut out all of the little leaves just for some extra detail, since that individual leaf has the stitch detail in the middle. So first I'll attach this vine, and it'll be at the very bottom of the card since that owl is fairly large, but it does still fit on an A2 size card. So next I'll glue down all of the leaves. I probably could have skipped a couple since the owl will be covering up a few of them, but I wasn't sure, so I decided just to add one on all of the little leaf areas on the vine. And I did speed up this portion quite a bit. It's just me gluing down teeny tiny little leaves. It does help to have some reverse tweezers since the leaf pieces are fairly small. Once those leaves are all in place, I'll flip over the panel and trim off the little extra on the vine. I have just a tiny bit on one side and then a little bit of the leaf on the other. I'll put some ATG tape on the back of this piece and add it to an A2 size card base. So now I can attach my owl, and I decided I would pop up this owl using some foam dimensional tape. And since it is fairly large, I want to make sure to get good coverage so there isn't one area that sags at all. Once all of the foam tape is in place, I can remove the release paper and attach my owl. And I'm trying to place the owl so it looks like he or she is sitting on that vine. So now I'll put liquid adhesive on the back of the feet and glue both of those in place. With the owl being so large, there really isn't a lot of room on the front of the card for a sentiment, so I decided to stamp the sentiment on the inside. So this is Hoot Hoot Hooray, Happy Valentine's Day. I did want to add a little bit of embellishment, so I'm using the heart hat. This is from Jaded Blossom Gnome Dies, their Valentine add-ons. There are 3 little stitched hearts in the center of the hat that are a full heart, so I thought those would be perfect for embellishments. I'm putting 2 in the upper right hand corner and 1 in the lower left hand corner. So there is my finished card. I think this is absolutely adorable. And here's the card compared to the Octagon Treat Box. I think both of them are adorable. Now moving on to my next project, I'll be making another card, and this will also be an A2 size card. I've already cut out all of the pieces, and I'll be assembling a little panda bear. The Critter add-on set includes the dies to create a little bear, but not necessarily a panda bear. So I tried to figure out a way of how I could make a panda bear. For the black area behind the eyes, I used the same piece that you use for the nose and the mouth. So I ended up cutting 3 of those, 2 in black and 1 in white. So first I'll attach those black pieces that go behind the eyes. So I put them both at an angle, and then I'll attach the white piece where I'll be adding the nose and the mouth. So it will be overlapping that black eye piece. For the nose, I decided to pop it up using some foam dimension. I decided to have the eyes just a little bit larger. The black piece of the eye is part of the Critter add-on, and then the white piece is part of the Halloween add-on. There's several different circle dies included in that set. So I'll just glue those 2 pieces together and adhere the eyes in place. So now once those eyes are there, it's really coming together and looking like a little panda bear. Then I can glue on the mouth. And this is part of the Christmas add-on set number 2. I just felt that this panda needed a little mouth. And then the last 2 pieces are the little ears. So I'll put some double-sided tape on the back side and attach both of the black ears toward the top of its head. And there is the panda bear head all finished. I think this one turned out super cute. For the background of the card, I'll be using that same Mintay paper, this time in purple. And I will be popping up the panda using some of the foam dimensional tape. I did speed this portion up quite a bit, just me putting tape on the back side. Now I was ready to adhere this in place, and then I remembered I wanted to add a couple other things to this panel. So first I'm using some Love from Lizi peel-offs. These are the purple holographic color in the pinstripe style. I'm putting 2 at the very top portion of this panel. I have the widest width and the medium width. Then I'll also add a medium width at the very bottom of the panel. I love how sparkly the holographic peel-offs are. I am cutting the peel-offs just a little bit wider than the pattern paper. I'll just wrap those ends around the back and that'll make sure that they won't come off later. Since I'm adding the panda on a vertical card, there is enough room to stamp a sentiment. So I'm putting this panel in my mini MISTI. Want to make sure to get a nice solid impression. And I'll be stamping the sentiment, "Love you very much." I want the sentiment right above the panda's head. So I am laying this panda upside down on that panel just to make sure I get that sentiment placement correct. Once I feel I have that sentiment straight, I'll use the Intense Black ink by Honeybee Stamps. And I will ink this up several times to get a nice solid impression. There are so many fun sentiments included on the Wild About You sentiment set. Once I get the sentiment all stamped, I'll put some ATG tape on the back of this panel and add it to an A2 size card base. With the images being just a little bit larger, there wasn't really enough room to add a cardstock panel. So for these cards, it's just that A2 size background pattern paper. So now I can attach my panda head, and I'm leaving enough room at the very bottom since I want to add a little extra embellishment. Using the same purple pattern paper, I cut out several stitched hearts using Jaded Blossom's banner die set. Now I'll alternate the hearts, starting with the largest heart, glue it down using some liquid adhesive. Then I'll add the smaller heart, going back to the larger heart until I have a little heart panel going all the way across the card. I really wanted the panda to be the main focus on the card, so I decided to use that same purple pattern paper for the hearts. You can still see them since it does have all that stitch detail along the outside. And there is my finished card. I love this little panda bear. I also made a second similar card, this time a little brown bear, and I gave the bear a pair of glasses. And I used some black mirror cardstock for the glasses, so they're super shiny. I made a few other cards using the Critter add-on set. So here is a little beaver. How adorable is this beaver? The sentiment, "I heart chew." For the glasses, I used some blue satin mirror cardstock, and for the lens, I used some acetate, so it has a little more realistic look of glasses. Then we have a darling little raccoon with Love Bandit, and for her glasses, I made sunglasses. And then I also have this sweet little fox. And for the fox's hat, this is the gnome hat from the Gnome Dies set, so I thought that was really fun. I love that you can add all these critters to an A2 size card, or you could put it on the front of an Octagon Treat Box. The panda and the little raccoon I think are my favorite, but do let me know which critter was your favorite this time. Now here's another look at the 6 cards and 2 Octagon Treat Boxes I made using Jaded Blossom's brand new mini release. I love their Octagon Treat Boxes, and it's so fun. They just keep making more add-ons. If you are interested in any of the items I used in this video, I do have links provided in the description box below. Jaded Blossom's new releases do tend to sell out very quickly, so if you are interested, I would suggest not waiting. I know when they first released their Octagon Treat Box, it sold out really fast, and their Gnome Dies were the same way. So don't wait if you're wanting to purchase those. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.